Hey, this is a podcast. No, wait, it's a comedy podcast. Well, we tried to make it a comedy podcast, and it's not meant to offend anyone. So don't get offended, okay? And wait, there's something else. Oh, yeah, yeah. Listener discretion is advised.
Audiomatic presents Our Last Week.
Hi, Kunal.
Hi, Pal.
Kunal, listen, I'm going to get straight into it. I've got myself into some trouble, big trouble.
What is this?
So I got, I guess, persuaded, led into, accidentally found myself in a film.
That's great.
Yeah, but it's not uncommon. You and I have made a few films together that I have written, that you have directed, you've starred in. This is a mistake, a giant mistake. I am acting in a film, in somebody else's film. That I have accidentally, for a brief period, entered your profession.
No, but I mean, I've seen you act in ads and things like that. You've been in front of the camera quite often now.
See, bits and pieces, I have done a day's work here and there. This is true. My conundrum is this 90% of this is out of your control. Like I'm saying, you could be playing the scene for an emotional value, but the other actor thinks it's funny, so he chooses to do hiccups and wink through the scene. So both of you are at cross purposes. So much of this profession is dependent on your environment and other people's intelligence around you, right? Of which you have no control. So I feel like this profession is one where, and I know that in India, an actor is a very big person, like they go into politics, and because I think people take what they are doing on screen quite credibly. But if you really see what actors do, it's basically they say a few lines written by somebody else for about a minute or 2 minutes. Then they go sit in a van for most of the day. Most of life in acting is waiting for other people's cues, waiting in your van, waiting for the star to show up. And I realized that, but I'm saying that once you've chosen to be a professor, let's say, or once you've chosen to be a policeman, the profession has pitfalls, but many of those you can probably control. If you've chosen to be, say, a dentist, right? Like, there are very rarely dentists where fixing people's teeth and the patient bites you. Like, this is the trouble with acting, is that it's not totally up to you. Like, nobody goes into a dentist and then starts playing with the dentist's teeth. The power dynamic is very clear that the dentist will play with my teeth. Here, the power dynamic can be anything. And I'm saying, how do you, as a human, because you, from what I've known of you, you're a rational individual, how do you deal with this?
Well, that's why that's why everyone says it's a collaborative art form, right? I mean, it's not dentistry where the dentist has an opinion with what he has to do with your tooth and he does it. He doesn't like maybe he might take advice from another dentist or if it's very complex or something, but ultimately he's going to take a call, right, on what to do with this thing. It's a single person's thing. I mean, that is now whether you want to call it his expression of how he feels and how he needs to deal with your tooth, or whether it's just a medical sort of, it's got to go. Either way, it kind of comes down to sort of one guy's call. This is the treatment we're going to follow. And that's it. He's not calling 40 people and then he's asking, like he's not like asking your mom also, tell me what do you feel also, like what is your take, like what is your opinion on this tooth, because I know you've known this tooth since it was very young. You've seen it come, like you've seen it emerge, you saw the old one fall. What are your feelings, like how will you feel if I were to remove it? And do you think that it's worth saving? Something that, let's like here, it's not a very, like everyone's opinion, and like, then it's not like the cameraman is also coming and saying, like, there's no cameraman shooting the dentist procedure, na, and saying, listen, I need more light. You're blocking my light. Can you just extract it from the left, because the right side extraction is like, it's blocking all the light. I'm not getting a good shot of it. So it's it's a very, everyone's opinion matters over here. So I'm saying, or if you're doing a scene, and this woman insists on just laughing and, playing it like a joke, she wants to do a death laugh, like a and then die.
Yeah, yeah. And you're hugging and saying, I love you, you're the love of my
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
It's
and she's
tricky.
saying, I think a death laugh will be very nice and fitting for this. Then it becomes a discussion. Then you waste 3-4 hours on the set. Then someone throws a tantrum. Then you feel that, oh, but then I should have the last line. I should have the last laugh. The last laugh should be hers. So everyone's opinions and their egos, and it's not as straightforward as an extraction. So yes, an extraction in many ways is a far less painful process than just executing a scene on a set. And you're right, there's just a lot of waiting and then saying a few lines and then waiting again and then falling and then, and then wearing a weird costume. So I think then everyone on the set is saying, wow, did you see how he wore that costume? It's looking so good on him. And like people are like, oh, the way he said, it's not a big deal. These clothes look like clothes on a person. The lines will come out of some guy's mouth and it'll sound like whatever it's supposed to sound like. It's not. But, they build up this whole thing. We're so sorry. We had to try 5 costumes. Arey, what am I doing? I'm changing my clothes here. I'm just wearing 5 different things. I'm not doing anything major, but everyone starts building it up. Then he had to change 3 times for that scene. Like, arey, so what, yeah? What am I
It's
doing?
not-
That's such
you're
a
not
big.
making a vaccine that will
Yeah,
save the. You're
what
not
am I
getting a-
doing? But then that's where the legend builds up. That then the legend, and then he fell. He hurt his elbow very badly. There was a scratch. He scratched. I would have every day I fall down on my own. I'm sitting at home. I'm having coffee. I fall down.
I don't need a
didn't- nothing
camera at
happened.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't need someone to call action. Yeah.
Nothing. I bump my toe on my corner of my bed all the time. But on the set, it becomes a big. The actor has he shed blood for this role and all. Nothing blood. Yeah, some shit that he scratched himself.
Which brings me to the next conundrum. This is the other thing about power dynamics in acting. So, not to go into any names, but basically, in one scene yesterday, there was one particular actor who was let go early. Okay. And then a lot of the unit was let go, and the other actor had to do reaction shots.
Right.
And in a sort of hierarchical power play, the other actor got upset because everybody left. And there was no one to watch and clap at his reaction shots.
Right.
And he felt, I suppose, like the lesser actor, like somehow he was less valuable. So he started throwing a tantrum, saying, why is there smaller crew for my reaction shots? I need everybody for my reaction shots. And that's my next question to you about acting is the real acting off camera where people are trying to figure out who is more powerful on the set? I guess actors are a bit like children. So the next person is not thinking, let me just give my reaction shots. It's 11:30 at night. I'll go home. He's thinking, where is my audience for my reaction shot? It's literally a reaction shot. He's supposed to just look up and go, oh my God. And that's it. But he needs an audience for this because the guy before him had an audience. And they're both actors at the same level. So
Right.
I want to know, my conundrum is, what's your view on the real acting? Is it going on off camera? And what's happening on camera is a bit fake. Because the real acting and power dynamic and who is where in the food chain is when the camera is not rolling.
See, I think that the big performance is in your
Yeah.
first few days on a set.
Yeah.
Your big
Yeah.
performance is who is the top dog over here.
Yeah, like you're gauging. So you're gauging the atmosphere.
You're gauging the atmosphere, you're setting the tone, you're just saying, How do I assert myself? Like,
Yeah.
or how? See, I think different people have a different way of playing the game. Some want to play the game where they're like, listen, you can't touch me. Okay, touch me in the sense not physically, but in the sense I'm so above all of this. Okay, that you're not at my level only. Talk through someone to talk to me. There's those people also.
Yeah, like say that's stratospheric. Shahrukh Khan or
Yeah,
stratosphere.
maybe he's approachable. I don't know what their game is. I haven't worked with them. So, but I'm saying different people have different sort of levels of how they deal with, how to create this kind of aura around themselves on a set. Some people go the route of like so accommodating, so nice, so lovely and down to earth, such a likable person. I mean, that's the other way to go, which is that, you just want to be loved by everyone. So they'll automatically try and look after you, they'll automatically try and like look out for you or whatever it is. But you're always kind of finding your feet on a set, like who is asserting themselves too much on this set, like, or acha, that's the game you're playing. Oh, so you're leaving at 6:30 today. Let's see now. Tomorrow I'm also going to show you. I'll leave at 6. So, like that. I mean, and that's the only thing that like no one's thinking of. This scene, I'm feeling like this scene is not going to work, because people are thinking of all this other stuff, like where did his food come from? He didn't have the set food. He ordered his lunch from outside.
And any actors who aspire to Bollywood, I hope are listening to this. So you have to show up as two characters: the character you're playing in the
Yeah.
film and the character you are
Playing
off
as an
screen.
actor. Yeah. Because you see, what kind of human you are is completely irrelevant. You have to
That's
have an actor
that's at
persona.
home. That's
That's
at
at
home.
home.
Yeah.
That's a separate
Yeah.
thing. Who are
Yeah.
you as an actor? Like,
Yeah.
what is your persona as an actor? Where do you want to pitch yourself as an actor? Because that's another performance. And on different sets, it can be different. The main performance begins when you like are getting onto set. That's when the performance starts.
When the card
And then of
drives
course you
up.
do little acting. Okay, now I'm acting funny. Oh, I'm acting sad. Oh, but then the main acting is happening around. It's all happening around this thing. Acha, how much is his spot getting? Oh, his spot is getting more than my spot. Oh, that's where all the politics are playing out. Where do you get fruits from? Where do you get fruits from? Arey, I just asked them. They got me fruits. They got you fruits. Yeah. Just ask them for cut fruits. Arey, they didn't give me cut fruits. Yeah. Arey, bhaiya, wo cut fruit. And then someone's listening to them for the cut fruit. So I'm saying that is where you play. Thing.
And
Arey, they
the
have
scene
cut fruits.
and the scene could be you're Gandhi and the other guy's Nehru, and you're
Yeah.
in a conversation about the freedom of India.
Yeah.
But you're trying to figure out how did that fucker smuggle pineapple onto set.
Yeah, how did he get pineapple? They fucking gave me 2 bananas. He's getting apple and all. You know how much apple is going for nowadays? He got grapes also. Fucking hell.
And in your head is the freedom of midnight speech.
Yeah.
You have to stand there and say, at the midnight hour when the world sleeps. And all you're thinking of is, how did that bastard get grapes?
Yeah.
Did he put it in his contract? Another acting conundrum, Kunal.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, this week all my conundrums are about acting.
No, it's fine. You've been on a set. It's okay.
I have. Now this particular set, there's a director and then there's a producer. And the producer is someone I've known for quite a long time. And the director is talking to the big stars, the big actors, and I'm playing a third character role. And the producer is coming and chatting with the actors, but the big actors are not listening to him. They're only listening to the director. So the producer feels like he needs to be valuable on set more than just the finances. So he has decided to focus on me. So he makes me wear different kinds of costumes, makes me do the lines with him, and has sort of made me his pet, like his pet animal on set. And I feel like this is less to do with the role and more because he wants to spend time on set being useful. And he's chosen me, and now he's sort of kind of like pushing me towards like performing better to be up to the same standard as the 2 stars who only talk to the director. At one point he also said, "You're mine." So I sort of feel like now he owns me on set, and I'm kind of his property, like a lamp or a prop or a phone, so. But I feel this has nothing to do with me. This has to do with him needing a horse in the race, if you will. Sometimes I feel this is not even a film, that I am just a thing for this producer to fuck with on set. Um, how am I supposed to navigate this?
See, if you want to be nice to him, if you want to be nice to him, and then you got to shine, then you got to really do your bit and really be good. Because then he'll be, he'll be puffed up every time you do a great scene or have a great line. He'll look towards the others, and he'll stake claim.
Yeah,
He'll
he's doing
stake
that
claim
already.
of that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll
yeah.
stake claim of that victory. That, oh, he's looking so good. Look at it. He's eaten up this scene. Yeah, he's taken it. He's stolen it. He's got it. So you're his you're his guy now, and he wants
It-
the
it's
others to feel bad for not listening to him. Because he wants them to feel that, shit, if we had listened to him, then we could be as good as this guy,
yeah,
who's
yeah.
shining in the scene over here. What are the pearls that? So I'm saying there are two ways to do it. One is that you can, uh, you can just say that you can spread rumors amongst other actors that he's giving you extra lines, or he, like, you got an inside track on how the script is going to this thing. And so the other actors also might feel a little bit insecure to say that, maybe we should listen to what he has to say. That's one way to take the pressure off yourself, so that they start lending a ear to what he has to say.
So I've not lived in Roman times, but do you think this is how, like a lot of like wealthy Roman nobles had slaves,
Yeah.
and they would often like offset their slaves against each other. They'd be like, they'd put two slaves in a race and say, my slave is faster than your slave. It was,
Yeah.
if you've read in Asterix, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So do you feel like that now it's too late for this to be a normal film anymore?
Yeah, that I think that ship has sailed now. So
Now
now it's
it's
a
just
film about something else.
now it's just this competitive battle,
Yeah.
between power, between the producer and the director. And Kunal, my last conundrum about film, and we've talked about this, I think, a few times before, which is that why is everybody in a film, and I guess this is tied to sort of my slave role, is only at any point looking out for themselves, right? Like if I walk here, can I upstage this person, right? Like, so nobody is focused on the story.
I think that what you're saying is, and I think it's very valid, is that everyone, not only the actors, but whether it's the DOP, or whether it's the editor, or whether it's the makeup or the hair, everyone is concerned with it looking good,
Yeah.
and it looking slick, or it looking attractive, or it looking right. And I think that somewhere in all of that, they lose track of what the story is. They lose track of that. Listen, it's not supposed to look good right now. It's not supposed to look correct. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to look pretty. It's not supposed to look done. It's not supposed to look made up or styled or edited, or it's not supposed to be apparent that it's so beautiful looking as a shot. So I think that is where that is where we are still stuck at many levels in our thought processes. Is that, oh, if I do my job well is one thing, but what is well is not making sure the actor's hair is in place. It's making sure the actor's hair is appropriate for that
Messed
scene,
up.
or
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
or that the makeup is invisible enough. Like, even if it is heavy makeup where they are made up and they're injured, but it should not look good. It should look bad. He shouldn't look injured and sexy. He should just look injured, or she. So this is where I think our sort of uh, this is where, like, see, I'm saying it's great to be selfish also, that it's got to look right, but right is not necessarily pretty or beautiful, right? Right is right for the story and right for the scene, and I guess that's the very fine line between being selfish about your work and wanting your work to look a particular way. So the really good people, when they're selfish, it's fine, because they know what they're doing, and they're prioritizing their cinematography or their makeup or their hair, which is their prerogative, but in service of the story rather than in service of themselves.
Especially when you got a, like 2 days ago, there was a dead body, and this lady kept saying she was a dead body, and she kept saying, please do a touch up. Please do a touch up. And I sat there thinking, you are dead. I don't think the audience would look at that and be like, why does she look like this? She's dead. Why can't she look more beautiful than this? So she was very concerned that she didn't want to look like a dead body. She wanted to look like a beautiful dead body. So everyone kept touching up the dead body, etc. And I'm thinking, when this is on the big screen, how many people are going to think, that's a beautiful looking dead body? Kunal,
Yes.
you had a physical violence related conundrum.
Well, actually, more than physical violence, it's a sports-related conundrum, And I
Yes.
just think that it's wonderful that we have so many new sports catching on in the world. There's a lot of rock climbing, there's a lot of adventure sports that are catching on. There's martial arts, and there's all this MMA or whatever they call it. But there's also this other game which I've been noticing quite a bit, which is doing the rounds and gaining a lot of popularity, which is the slapping sport. It's a sport where two generally large men just stand in front of each other and they slap each other very hard. And it's basically who can take the slap for longer. So, as in, they keep
It's a
slapping
beautiful
each
thing.
other.
It's a massive thing. It's become quite popular now.
Yeah. And I don't know what it's called exactly. I mean, apart from slapping, I guess it's like,
Yeah.
if it's an Olympic thing, then I guess it'll just be there as slapping. I mean, I would be interested to see what the sign for it would be when they have, all the javelin and long jump and swimming. So if there's like just a hand and a face or something, if it makes it to the Olympics.
Also, isn't it, there's a lot of shit talking before the slap happens?
There's a lot of staring. There's a lot of like looking into each other's eyes. There's a lot of there's a lot of head bobbing. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of these mind games and all that stuff. And then they just stand in front of each other, and one guy slaps, then the other guy slaps, then one guy slaps, and then the other guy slaps. And finally, one guy gets knocked out. I mean, he's just completely. And these are huge. I mean, huge hands, huge men. Women have also started. I mean, why leave women out? It's all over. But like, and the thing is that it goes through a whole process. Like, you have like. One of my brothers also watches it quite a bit, and he had raised this thing which was really interesting, where they have post-match and pre-match interviews also. They have then those guys have trainers as well, and they have they have coaches. So like, the coaches come, and in the pre-match they say, yeah, we've been training for 4 months, and I think that mentally he's in the right space right now, and I think we've been really working on the mental aspect of it more than the physical. It's like a full thing. It's like a full, and ultimately just a guy slapping another guy, and then another guy slapping.
And
But
are
they
there
get into it.
endorsements for this? Are there
Oh yeah,
sponsors?
it's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's massive. It's really become big, and I think it's so much simpler than boxing and all. Because boxing, you're like, oh fuck, now they're going to like cut to the chase. Cut to the chase. The main part is like, you want to see the guy getting boxed in the face. Now, oh, he's taken it in the ribs, and now they're dancing around the ring, and oh, look at his physical. Here it's straight. It's like the T20 of boxing. It's like the
Just-
yeah.
Yeah. And also the other guy who's about to be slapped, I've heard he's shit talks till he gets thwacked.
Yeah.
You don't have
got
anything.
nothing. You
You
got
are
nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna smack you and all that. Yeah, you're gonna smack me. Of course you're gonna smack me. We're here to be smacked only. We're here to smack.
And they're just across a table like arm wrestling, right? Just pointing at each
Yeah.
other. And then just one slap and the next slap.
I want to know, like, what other things, like slapping, like, even when I was a kid, I'd never thought of it as a sport thing. Like, I mean, so I'm just trying to think, like, what else could make it? Because so many things are now making it as a sport.
Well, in Finland, carrying your wife on your back is a big sport.
Yeah.
Your wife, not somebody else's wife. That's cheating. But carrying your own wife is a sport. And I think there is some sort of a sport in Greenland
Yeah.
where you have to run with a wolf. Like it has to be you versus a wolf, some sort of thing.
So you're saying that in all these sports, it's crucial to add that element of like
Escape.
escape. That
Yeah.
sense of like there's a live threat, and that's what I felt about most sport. And that's I think where sport originated from is
Yeah.
is self-preservation, right? Like how.
Like a hurdle has to be someone who's robbed some jewelry, who's passing it on from thief to thief, right?
Yeah,
Who has
or-
to
yeah.
a relay, who has
Yeah.
to climb over some sort
No,
of
any
water
of these
body.
javelin shot, but it was all about who can throw a spear into somebody else at the furthest
Yeah.
distance, or who can knock a
Yeah.
guy out with this stone on his head. Oh, that's
Yeah.
shot put. Oh, this thing.
Now it doesn't. A lot of these don't make any sense. Like I mean, curling, the Winter
Yeah.
Olympic sport of curling, that's just cleaning ice. That
Yeah.
just came from maybe some king saying, I can't take my sledge over this. Please clean this ice.
Clean it, and then let's see how smoothly I go. It's like clear the road, basically.
Yeah, the king went, the cleaning remained.
Like
pole
speed
vaulting.
eating,
Why would
pole
you need
vaulting.
to pole vault? Like, at what point in life would you have a barrier for which you need a pole to jump over unless it's a prison wall?
Unless it's to run away or to steal. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Just pole vault to this place. Like, who would tell you that? Like, say if you are
Like
in
no
construction.
restaurant is saying that, listen, we're on the first floor, but you'll have to
Just-
pole vault to us because we don't have stairs or lift. But there's a
Yeah,
vault.
yeah.
Okay, vault
Yeah.
is there, then we can make it. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, unless it's for physical violence, what is shot put? Like, why would you throw a giant ball across a distance? Unless it is to hurt someone so that it falls on
Yeah.
someoe's head and they die. Like you're
But
attacking another village.
I agree. I think we're onto something. But having said that, as in, we are only saying this because we're not very physically gifted people. Like I think we do a podcast because I think we feel more comfortable talking and just continue talking. So I guess for people who are physically sort of gifted or are like just a little bit more blessed in that department, they think the same way about debating, right? Like what, those two guys just stand there and they just talk about something and then they just say
they
words
think
at each
we're
other.
Gigantic losers. That's what they think.
As in, I think that this is a sort of debating, but without the words, right? So the slapping is like, forget all these words, what you think about Marx and all that stuff, or like, what is happening in, the Maoist. I don't want to talk about it. Let's just slap. So I'm just saying that, is it better to solve a lot of world problems rather than get down to debate and all? Shouldn't we just have slapping? Because as
don't
in
you think
war is too much.
Don't you
War
think
is
this
too much.
Podcast would be much better if you and I just showed up and started hitting each other. Don't you
See,
think our
it-
listeners would be much more, and our viewers?
And
Like, I
even
feel
if
like-
there wasn't a video, even if it wasn't
Yeah.
on video, and I'm saying if it was
Yeah.
video, then it would be huge. But I'm saying
Yeah.
even if it was just audio of us slapping
Yeah.
each other, we'd have at
Kunal, you
least
bastard! Yeah,
20,000 more listeners.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
what we'd get.
You know that last week, you know what he did? He just bashed up Pal.
They just
bashed him
slap
up.
each other, yeah. They just slap each other. You can
It's
see it.
not
No, you
like
can't
any
see
other
it, but it's
podcast.
amazing. Yeah.
Every other podcast is talkative. No, of course you can't see it. So what you're saying is just like if we just resorted to hi, hello, last week, welcome this week, and then just you started slapping me,
Yeah.
and I protested like Kunal, yeah, fuck you.
Because honestly, that is one way to solve all conundrums, no?
Thank you, listeners. This has been our last week. Kunal and I
It
are
has.
just about to get into a fight right now, into physical
Yeah.
brawl. So so please send us your conundrums about life, violence, anything at patreon.com/our last week. The only way to end this podcast today is just with Kunal slapping me. So here you go.
Bye, Paul.
Bye, Kunal.
And a quick reminder that next week we're going to have a listener special. So please do remember to send in your conundrums and we will be more than happy to answer them. Bye.
Listener special next week. Bye.
You were listening to Our Last Week, produced by Rajesh Tahil and Avdut Khanolkar, hosted by Anuvab Pal and Kunal Roy Kapoor, assistant producers Akansha Kadam and Rahul Vaswani.